my gosh. After I watched this, I remember reading the Wikipedia on him. And Ray Charles has like 10 kids with like multiple baby mamas. Is Nick Cannon the Ray Charles of our time?
Maybe,
Only
I guess
less
so.
talented,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Hi, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Dell.
And this is the Black Catch-Up, where we're catching up on iconic black media we missed out on in our more conservative religious childhood.
Alright, so today... Alright, so today we watched Ray.
Yes! Jamie Foxx. We've got a lot of Jamie Foxx this week. Don't know what we were doing or what we were on or why, but it was good. I like Jamie Foxx. So.
Yeah, no, he's a very pleasant.
There are worse themed weeks we've had.
Definitely.
As always, IMDb. A story of the life and career of the legendary rhythm and blues musician Ray Charles, from his humble beginnings in the South, where he went blind at age 7, to his meteoric rise to stardom during the 50s and 60s.
Okay. I guess as usual, starting off with things we liked about this one.
Yeah,
I guess I can kick it off.
Yeah,
I thought Jamie Foxx did really good in this one, of course.
he's so good.
Yeah.
He won an Oscar for this role, and he's the second
nice.
actor to sweep the entire award season for their role. So he won, like, Critics' Choice, the Emmy, the Oscar, Golden Globe, and the 5th one.
Wow.
Yeah, he swept for this role. And
and you definitely see why watching it. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, he was like very much embodied the character, especially like as he kind of like gradually like became more addicted to like heroin, and like you see him like doing more of like the twitching and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, I just thought he was really, really great in this one.
Yeah. He was really good at this.
Yeah.
As well. And I know for Ray, Jamie Foxx, like, did he glue his eyes shut? Or he did something. He was pretty method with Ray, where he, like, I don't remember if it was, like, actually glue, but he definitely, like, kept his eyes shut a lot during it. Like, not just, like, oh, I'm keeping my eyes closed. Like, he gave himself an impairment. I don't remember how, but I remember reading this, like, multiple times.
Yeah.
But
that makes sense. I think the only scene we saw his eyes was, like, there was one, like, flashback scene toward the end. Or not flashback, it was, like, I guess a hallucination when he was in rehab or something. And he was like talking to his mom, but like as an adult, you could see again.
I remember.
Yeah, other than that, his eyes were like shut the whole movie, which is intense, you know.
One of the things I have was the scene where he imagines water and a dead person.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was, but I liked that scene because it definitely was. It was very much. What I wish they did more in this movie was almost give us the Ray Charles's perspective on things and how he did things, similar to how The Walking Dead had an episode in their last season where we get a lot of Connie's perspective in one of these, like a haunted house essentially, and she's a deaf woman, so like it was a really good episode. You guys should watch The Walking Dead. But I wish we got more of that. But I did like the scene where we kind of like see him feeling around, and it's like, what is he seeing?
Yeah.
And then we see a dead person. I think that might be because of the drugs, but I liked that scene.
Yeah. Or that was his brother, I think. Yeah. I guess speaking of that was my next point. I did like the use of flashbacks in this one. I thought all of the scenes of him as a child did a lot to kind of tell more about his character. I think those are some of the more like emotional scenes. Like there was that scene where like he first loses his eyesight and like falls down and is like screaming for his mom, and his mom's just like standing there not helping. And he eventually gets up and like picks up a crick and he's like, "Yeah, I saw you too, Mom," or like, "I could hear you too." Like just like chilling scenes like that. Also the scene where he like watched his brother die. That scene like kind of got. I don't know why he just stood there, but
I don't know either. But
that was an intense scene. Yeah, that was an intense one. But yeah, I thought most of the flashback scenes were good.
I also liked. Now we're getting into more of like the music-y stuff. I liked the making of "Hit the Road, Jack."
I had that down too. Yeah,
I loved that one.
Yeah.
Also, I've heard a lot of Ray Charles's songs and music. Did not know they were him. I don't know what that says about me.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, he does this one. Oh, he does this one. And I was like, oh, I like this song. Even the oh man, this is bad. Night and Day, I think, is a song. That one is not famous, but that one has that iconic Cosby Show scene that goes along with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I definitely watched that afterwards. Just the scene. I didn't watch the Cosby Show. But, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I had the same thing written down. There were a lot of, like, oh, I didn't know that was Ray Charles moments. Like, a lot of those moments. And I think part of it is, like, us not listening to Ray Charles. But then the other part is, like, he's been sampled a lot. So, like, there's a lot of songs that, like, use his parts, but, like, or use his, like, lyrics and, like, his, like, melodies that, like, aren't his songs. So, like, yeah, but I had that same kind of feeling.
Yeah.
That being said, I thought this did do like a good job of kind of introducing us to his music and especially like his like style. Like I thought the part about like him using gospel music and like putting like these like I guess just regular lyrics to it or like what's the word?
Yeah.
What's that word? Not like what's the word for like non-God? Yeah, secular. There it is. And putting like secular lyrics to the music. I don't know why that word just escaped me for a minute. But yeah, I thought that part of it was also interesting, and like him trying to like find a new singer, and they're like, okay, like I don't actually want to sing with this, or like him going to shows and people like throwing a fit because he's like, you know, defaming these like gospel songs and stuff like that. But yeah, it did a good job of introducing us to his music, I thought.
Another scene I have is the scene where the first mistress leaves and they're like singing. I forgot what song they were singing, but I really liked it. The way I'm saying it like this because I messed up, so I watched this movie last week, so it's a little fuzzier in my mind.
Yeah,
but I do like the scene where the first mistress leaves, although I found it very funny that she was upset that there was another mistress, and I'm like, you yourself are a mistress, but I did like that. I did like the whole scene because I can't remember what song was attached to it, but it was like when Regina Hall's mistress started like coming up in the band a little bit more. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. I think that was about all I had for this one.
Oh, the last thing I'll say is I also like the scene where I think it was before he quit with one of his managements, where they were giving him like $50 or something like that, and he only ever wants ones because someone tried to cheat him last time. So he's like, no, money I get, all it's ones, guys, exclusively ones. And then the his whoever pays him out was like, here's $50, and he's like 10, 20, 50 or whatever. And then he's like, "No, you're cheating me. We're not doing this." And then like they have a tussle. I liked that scene too.
No, when he launched over the table, that was like I don't know why I laughed during that one. It looked like kind of like ragdoll-y too, which was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I don't know if they had like a stunt double or something, but it was like the weirdest launch. But it was I did like that scene too.
Almost like a cat or a panther.
Yeah. Okay, I guess negatives now.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't have too many. Did you want to start or?
No, I don't have too many either. Okay. One of them that I had was when they caught him with the drugs at the airport. It felt very U.S. versus Billie Holiday, but not in a good way. Just like, and I guess there can't be a good way to take it because we didn't like U.S. versus Billie Holiday as much as I wanted to.
Yeah.
But it just felt very like almost. They were, because it was towards the end of the movie where they started, like, really digging into his drug use and, like, the actual ramifications of that. And I kind of, maybe that's part of what my problem was. I wish they'd, like, we got to spend a little more time with that. Because from the way I was watching it, it just seemed like he had a lot of highs and, like, he was just high. But he had a lot of highs and his being high wasn't really, like, affecting him that much.
Yeah.
But...
yeah, I kind of had, like, a similar thing. Like, I didn't have too many negatives, but what I did write down was, like, I didn't mention this in the pros, but I did think the ending got really good and, like, intense. But I thought it had, like, kind of a slow start. For kind of the similar reasons you said, like, it did seem like they kind of went through, like, everything he went through, which I'm okay with that. But definitely in the beginning, it seemed like it was a lot of him just, like, performing on his climb, and then, like, you see, like, his various relationships with his mistresses. So, like, it got like a little bit boring toward like that beginning middle part where we were kind of just like going through those things. And then once like you got toward the end, it was like, okay, like all these things he's doing actually have consequences, and like, oh, the
Yeah.
people he's with, like his kids are being affected, like, you know, his wife's being affected. Once it started getting to like that portion of the movie, I thought it got a lot more like interesting. But yeah, I did just thought it had a bit of a slow start. And again, this movie's 2.5 hours, and like, I know I always like put length as like a negative, so I didn't want to do that for this one, but I did put the slow start for this one as somewhat of a negative on this one.
I get that.
Yeah, I feel like they could have trimmed out or at least like compressed some of that like beginning of his rise, I think, you know.
Yeah, oddly enough, there weren't really any montages in this one. There were like a couple.
Yeah, not too many. Yeah.
But I think the ones that I'm thinking of are like maybe Hit the Road Jack and When the Mistress is Leaving, where it was like he's making a song and this is kind of how the song came about when he's like in these really big fits of emotion with whoever he's sleeping with at the time. But yeah, I just really wish we could kind of see a little bit more ebb and flow to me. Well, but I guess what's your point of like, oh, he's just riding this high and then we're finally seeing it all like crash at once. That's so good.
Yeah. Do you have anything else or?
The last thing is, even though I liked the flashbacks and thought they were important, I never felt as though they were incorporated to my complete satisfaction.
Yeah, they were a little clunky, especially toward the beginning, I thought. Because in the beginning, I feel like we were going with like 3 different timelines, it seemed. Because it seemed like in the beginning we did a lot more jumping around in the present, or not the present timeline, but his like adult timeline. It seemed like we were doing a lot of jumping around as well as going back. Where toward the end, it seemed a little more like, okay, we're just in the present timeline going linearly. Then every once in a while you do like a short flashback. But in the beginning, I thought they were pretty clunky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the whole movie started off kind of clunky, honestly. But yeah. I guess, are we ready for ratings then? I don't think I had.
Yes.
Oh, the last thing I had, it was a nitpick. There were some like transition scenes, certain transition slides that look like PowerPoints. I feel like I always call that stuff out, but it was just like, I don't know. It wasn't like super bad or anything, but I was just like, why is this here? You know, but anyway.
Oh man.
Yeah, we get into ratings now.
Now we're ready for ratings.
Yeah, after that little point, you know, taking off some points for that, but yeah, I guess I'll go first. I gave this one a 4.
Ooh.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx did really good in this one. I thought it did a good job of like capturing the story of Ray Charles. The only real downsides were again like it kind of got off to a slow, clunky start in my opinion. But yeah, for the most part, it was really interesting. It didn't feel as long as it was. At least I thought
That is true.
Especially because like we said, like it did pick up toward the end, and like, you know, he was kind of like once he started dealing with like his legal troubles, family troubles, like I guess they even like brought in race relations toward the end too, which I thought was
with
good.
him playing in Georgia.
Yeah. So once
good.
he like really got into the movie, I thought it you know did a really good job of like capturing his life and the essence and the music he created, and also like for these like musical biographies, I think they do need to kind of like introduce you to their music, and I think this one did a good job of kind of like giving us a breadth of like, oh, these were the songs he created, this was like what he was doing during his time. So yeah, overall I did enjoy this one quite a bit, so I give this one a 4.
I gave this one a 3.5 out of 5. I thought Jamie Foxx did a wonderful job, and he had the mannerisms of Ray Charles like on lock. I just wish, like you said, that they kind of cut the beginning just a little bit because it was so clunky, and anything to make a movie shorter. Because while it did not feel like 2.5 hours, it still is 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And I would have definitely, in terms of like getting rid of some of the more like messy exposition or like not as well realized exposition, and I would have kind of beefed up that ending part where we start seeing it hit the context of his actions, basically. Where we start to see him kind of hit those rocky parts. I would have liked a little bit more of that. But that just makes me seem like I want him to have a bad life, but I don't.
No, I kind of feel that too, especially with like these kind of movies. It's like a lot of these like famous rock star kind of people go through like kind of similar things. So it's like, okay, we know they went on the rise. Like, show me what's different. Show me what makes their story unique kind of thing. So I definitely do get that. And a lot of times it does happen to be the more like negative things, like the legal battles, the drug battles, so it does happen to be that. But I do get that feeling as well.
Yeah, so it's like weird because it's like I want to see more of the hard stuff, but it's like
it's
not bad to have a good life. Like it's not bad if like you just worked really hard and now you're a successful Ray Charles who happens to be blind. Like, and it didn't seem like he ever got screwed over by a company or anything besides that one guy who was counting money in the beginning. It seemed like he had a lot of trusted people around him who didn't want him to do heroin. So, good on you. I'm sorry, I wish there were more lows for me to latch on to. That's rude of me.
Yeah. All right, final question. Do you wish you saw this one sooner?
I'm going to say a soft yes. Because I think, maybe especially when we were doing a lot of our other biopics, like the James Brown, Get On Up. Yeah, Get On Up and like some of those. Maybe around that time or something. Or even earlier, because I did enjoy those too.
Yeah. I enjoyed it too. I didn't have a strong reason to have seen it earlier. I like seeing it now. No, like, real strong reason. I do get the argument of, like, when we did, like, most of our biopics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
maybe I would have added some Ray Charles to my little rotation of music.
Yeah. No, I definitely will listen to, what is it, his album, Modern Sounds and Western Music. Or I want to say that's his, like, big album or something. I will give it a listen soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was Ray. Okay, no more questions. I was like, final question. We did that already. But yeah, that was Ray.
That was Ray.
YouTube housekeeping. Like, comment, subscribe.
Ring the bell for notifications. If you have any movie suggestions for us, you can leave them in the comments down below. We do movies on Tuesdays and Fridays. All of our socials will be linked in the description box down below. And we'll see you next time to catch up. Bye!
Crazy how, like, every rock star back then was just on heroin,
I know.
That's what it really seems like. Like, damn,
That seems insane.
Like, we can't have any talented musicians not on hard drugs. Like,
I know. And I remember how he started it in the movie. It was like, oh yeah, people were doing it around him. He was like, give me some, and then I'm like,
I was like, here we go. You can't even see. What do you need to,
but it was that and heroin and cheating on your wife. Those are like the two hallmarks of a musical biopic. You gotta do those two things.
And then it's always funny when, like, I'm on Twitter and, like, hear them complaining about modern music, and then someone goes in the comments, the cocaine was pure back then. That's why the music's not hitting the same anymore.